Open your Super app right now and look at that number. Whatever it says, $180,000, $340,000, $520,000. That number is not real. Not because your fund is stealing from you, not because the system is broken, but because that balance on your screen is missing four things that will fundamentally change what you actually have. When you retire, the gap between what your Super says and what you'll actually live on is one of the most expensive misunderstandings in Australian personal finance. Today, I'm walking you through exactly why your Super balance is lying to you, what the real number looks like, and what you can do about it right now. Before the gap gets any wider, Australia's superannuation system holds over $3.9 trillion in retirement savings, one of the largest pension pools in the world. And yet research consistently shows that most Australians significantly overestimate how much income their Super balance will actually generate. A 2025 ASFAS study found that the majority of Australians approaching retirement believed their Super would last significantly longer than the modeling actually showed. The problem isn't the Super system itself. The problem is what the balance figure on your app actually represents, and more importantly, what it doesn't. Here are the 6 reasons your Super balance is giving you a false picture of your retirement. Every year, regardless of market performance, your Super fund charges you fees, and those fees compound against you, the same way returns compound for you. There are 3 layers of fees most Australians have never separated out. The administration fee charged just to hold your account, the investment fee charged to manage your money, and the indirect cost ratio buried inside your fund's investment options, and often never separately disclosed. The average Australian Super fund charges a total fee of approximately 1.0% to 1.5% per year. On a $300,000 balance, that's $3,000 to $4,500, leaving your account every single year. Not as tax, not as poor performance, just as fees. Over 20 years, the difference between a 0.5% fee fund and a 1.5% fee fund is approximately $100,000 in your final balance. $100,000, not from bad investments, but from an administrative line item most Australians have never looked at. The number on your screen does not show you fees already charged, nor does it project the fees yet to come. It just shows you the current balance, as if fees don't exist. Log into your Super fund, find the product disclosure statement, and search for total annual fee. If the total sits above 0.85%, you need to understand why. This is the one that surprises people most. By default, most Australians inside a Super fund are automatically enrolled in life insurance, total and permanent disability insurance, and sometimes income protection, and those premiums are deducted from your Super balance every single month, without a direct bill, without a reminder, without a prompt to ask whether you actually need it. The average Australian pays between $500 and $1,200 per year in Super insurance premiums for a 35-year-old with $80,000 in Super. $800 per year in unnecessary premiums compounds to over $60,000 in lost retirement savings. By age 65, the premiums are rarely appropriate either. A 28-year-old renter with no dependents is probably paying for life insurance they don't need, while a 55-year-old approaching retirement might be paying for cover that duplicates what they already hold outside Super. Your balance doesn't flag any of this. It just gets quietly smaller every month. Log into your Super account, find the insurance section, check exactly what you're covered for and what it costs, and if you don't need it, you can opt down or opt out entirely. Your Super balance sits inside a concessionally taxed environment. 15% tax on contributions and earnings during accumulation phase. That's the good news. Here's what your balance statement doesn't show you. If you're accessing Super as a lump sum before age 60, part of that balance may still be taxable. If you have an untaxed element in your fund, common in some government and defined benefit schemes, your withdrawal is taxed at up to 15%, even after age 60, and even for standard Super funds, the balance you see is a pre-tax figure. That assumes you'll draw it down in pension phase, not as a lump sum. A $500,000 Super balance does not equal $500,000 in your pocket. The after-tax reality depends entirely on your age, your fund type, and how and when you access it. For most Australians in standard retail or industry funds, the pension phase drawdown approach eliminates most of this concern. But the point is your balance presents a number, as if the tax question is already settled. It isn't. Ask your fund or a financial advisor, what is the taxable versus tax-free component of my current balance? That one question gives you a more accurate picture than any statement ever will. Your super balance might grow from $400,000 to $600,000 over the next 10 years. That looks like a $200,000 gain. But if inflation runs at 3% per year, above the RBA's target band, but below where it's been recently, the purchasing power of that $600,000 in 10 years is closer to $446,000 in today's dollars. You gained $200,000 on paper. You gained $46,000 in real terms. The SFA comfortable retirement standard currently sits at $73,337 per year for a couple and $51,805 for a single. But those numbers are in today's dollars. By the time someone currently aged 45 retires, those same living standards will cost significantly more in nominal terms. Your super balance is a nominal figure. It doesn't adjust for inflation. It doesn't show you what it will buy in 20 years. It just shows you dollars, as if a dollar today equals a dollar in retirement. When you think about your target super balance, always ask, what year am I retiring? Then add approximately 3% per year in inflation to your SFA lifestyle benchmark to get a realistic income target. Most Australians assume they'll simply live off the returns their super generates without touching the principal. Here's the reality. At a 5% annual return on $500,000, you generate $25,000 per year, which is $481 per week. That is not a comfortable retirement. To generate a SFA comfortable single retirement income of approximately $51,805 per year from super alone. At a 5% return, you need just over $1 million. But here's what most retirement calculators miss entirely. The sequence of returns matters enormously. If markets drop 25% in your first 2 years of retirement, and you're still drawing down $50,000 per year, your balance shrinks faster than the averages suggest. This is called sequence of returns risk, and it can permanently reduce your retirement outcome, even if the market fully recovers later. Your balance statement shows you a number. It does not model what happens if markets fall in the first 5 years of your retirement. It does not show your drawdown runway, or whether your money will last 20 years or 35. Use the Money Smart Retirement Planner to model your specific balance, age, and drawdown rate, and pay close attention to the balance at age 90 figure, because that number will tell you more than your current balance ever could. The ATO's lost and unclaimed super register currently holds approximately $17.8 billion across millions of accounts. Every time you changed jobs without consolidating your super, a new account was opened, and every account has its own admin fees, its own insurance premiums, its own balance sitting somewhere you've forgotten about. The number on your current funds app is not necessarily your total super balance. It might be half of it. It might be 70% of it. The real figure, your total superannuation position, requires checking the ATO's MyGov Super Portal to see every account held in your name, a scenario that comes up repeatedly in this space. A 52-year-old who believed they had $190,000 in super discovers 2 additional accounts with a combined balance of $43,000 on MyGov. 18 years of fees had been quietly draining those accounts since they were opened in their 30s. Log into MyGov, navigate to the ATO section, select Superannuation, and you'll see every super account held in your name. Consolidate everything, except where there's a specific reason not to. Here's how to calculate it. Take your current balance across all accounts, then subtract the estimated fees you'll pay between now and retirement, roughly 1% per year of your projected balance. Subtract any insurance premiums you're paying that you don't actually need. Adjust for inflation by adding approximately 3% per year to your target income benchmark. Model your drawdown rate against your life expectancy, and confirm that the tax treatment of your fund matches what you're assuming. The result of that exercise will almost certainly be a different number than what your app shows you right now, sometimes higher because you found lost super, but more often lower because fees, tax, and inflation have been invisible until now. Always more accurate, and accuracy is the only thing that actually helps you plan. 6 things to do this week. First, check your total fee percentage. Find your fund's PDS and look for total annual fees. And if it's above 0.85%, ask why. Second, review your insurance. Log into your fund, find the insurance section, and check whether what you're paying for actually matches what you need. Third, ask your fund or advisor about your taxable versus tax-free component. That single question changes your planning completely. Fourth, inflation adjust your retirement income target by adding 3% per year for every year until you retire. Fifth, Model your drawdown using Money Smart's retirement planner and focus on the balance at age 90. 6th, check my gov for lost super today. It takes 10 minutes and could add tens of thousands of dollars to your real position. Your super balance is not a lie because the system is dishonest. It's incomplete. It shows you one number on one day, without fees modeled forward, without inflation adjustment, without a drawdown runway, without the full picture of every account you hold. The Australians who retire comfortably are not necessarily the ones with the biggest balance on their screen. They are the ones who understood what that number meant and what it didn't. Now you do too. If this video showed you something you didn't already know, subscribe and hit the notification bell. More straight-talking Australian finance content every week. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.